But while growing up, I realized that the world doesn't look at women the same way that I do. They don't look at them as leaders. They definitely don't look at them with people who can manage responsibilities and can do things beyond what they do at home. And I decided that no matter what I do and how I do it, the only thing that I want to do is make sure that the world looks at women the same way that I do. Hi, I'm Aanya Wig. Today I'm on Health Shots talking about how we can bring change together and make this world a little more equal. I'm 23 years old. I graduated from LSR in 2021. I did history honors and I run my own non-profit organization. It's called Her Haq. So essentially, I'm trying to create an ideal world where no woman has to fight to make her voice heard. And how we do that is through three pillars: menstrual hygiene management, financial literacy, and legal literacy, and hopefully very soon social entrepreneurship as well. I'm also on the Young People's Action Team for UNICEF, which is essentially 50 of us across the country giving them advice on what they should or should not do for young people. I was essentially born and brought up by a single parent, my mother. I lost my father when I was really young, and my sister. So essentially for me, women would do everything, right? My mom was a teacher, so she was going to work, she was leading things at home, she was filing taxes, she was paying the bills, she was doing everything that I could possibly imagine that a person needs to do. But while growing up, I realized that the world doesn't look at women the same way that I do. They don't look at them as leaders. They definitely don't look at them with people who can manage responsibilities and can do things beyond what they do at home. And I decided that no matter what I do and how I do it, the only thing that I want to do is make sure that the world looks at women the same way that I do. And that's how Her Haq started. And I'd also started a social entrepreneurship project in college. It was called Aghas, where I would work on financial independence of women and also combat climate change at the same time by using waste cloth material to create products. I would say this is a part of the plan, but at the same time, the way that it's being executed, I hadn't ever sat and thought that, oh, you know what, this is what I really want to do. So yes, that's how it all started. I would say I look at women as leaders, right? Be it leading work at home, be it leading work at the office, be it leaders as industry members. And I definitely do see women as equal to men. But I definitely see women for the work that they're doing and the kind of recognition they deserve. But definitely in a line, I would say I see them as leaders, leading everything, be it, healthcare, be it tech, be it business, be it non-profits, be it in the parliament. I want to see them everywhere and leading whatever they wish to do. So when I was in school, when I was in 8th grade, and this is any experience that any girl in probably Delhi or most schools in India will tell you, that there comes a stage where school needs to talk to you about menstruation, but by you, they literally mean only girls. So what ends up happening is class 8th in CBSE, you have this chapter called sex. It's not sex education, it's related to the reproductive system. So they put girls and boys in a MP hall in a theater, in like an auditorium, and they tell you a little about puberty, and then they ask all boys to get up and leave, and then they tell you very little about what are periods, and they will probably not use the word period. They will be so afraid to use things like sanitary napkins, pads. They will never tell you about PCOD, PCOS. They will not tell you most things, and they will tell you, okay, this is something that might happen to you, and you can use a pad. That's the beginning and end of the conversation. Over the years, I just started realizing that it's not just a my school issue or a my class issue. It's actually an issue across the country, and it's worse in most places. I feel like this is a woman issue because we don't really ever get to control our finances, but because I came from a household which just had women, I had control over my finances. What I did end up realizing was that I don't have the capacity to manage my finances. Nobody's ever taught me how to file taxes or what to invest in or what is an FD or how to plan my future. Because more often than not, women are dependent on the man of the house to do something like this for it. Even if you find out from a simple Google search, you will find out most women in India don't have a separate health insurance. They're always added as a plus one for the insurance that the man gets from their workplace or anywhere else. So it made me realize that, even though I come from such a progressive background, I don't have this knowledge. What's the situation like in backgrounds with people who actually don't get the freedom that I have? Only to realize that the situation is really bleak. I wanted to be a lawyer, which also meant that I'm interested to know about the law. Whenever I need any information related to my rights or any right that's been violated, for that I need to know my rights, I talk to a lawyer friend or somebody who knows a lawyer, or my mom who has a lawyer friend. But what about those people who actually don't have the resources that we do, right? And I realized that I want to make sure this knowledge reaches those people. Sexual harassment was very close to my heart after going through so many of these incidents in various places. And I wanted to make sure that people, and especially girls and women, understand what constitutes as sexual harassment and what can they do. Rather than just being helpless about the situation, what is the next step? Age was never the criteria, but I realized slowly, because of the work that I do, I might have gotten invites, or might have gotten space on some platforms, be it a roundtable conversation or a panel that we're having. But my thinking changed from, wow, I'm getting to speak, I'm a young person, so good to see that they want my perspective, to realizing it's just a tokenistic representation of somebody on that panel. I have been on panels which have talked about youth, with having just one young person on the panel, right? It might be a little different in the way that we look at youth organizations. Like, many have come up now, many are working towards a lot of great things, but our acceptance towards counting that as quality change or literally looking at it as social impact is still very naive, still very native, because we don't consider the work that young organizations or youth-led organizations that are doing as work that matters. People never, or more often than not, never crack a sexist joke in front of me because they know I will call them out. People ask me that, you're just advocating a lot of times on social media, usse kya hota hai? And I keep telling them that if a post that I create makes somebody pause the next time they say something sexist, or makes them pause for a second and remember what they would have said, or give consideration to another woman going through something like that, for me, that's change. For me, change isn't measured in terms of the number of people I can reach out to or the size of impact. For me, it's even one conversation, even one person thinking twice before doing or saying something. Don't let the world tell you what you can or cannot do. It's in your hand, and you should drive the change you wish to see.